fun fact for you.
What? Okay.
Did you know that before avocados were called avocados, they were called alligator pears?
Who came up with that?
I don't know. Someone dumb. Do you know where the name avocado comes from?
I know that in French, avocado and lawyer are the same word.
Oh, that's funny. It comes from a word meaning testicle because of the way they hang. That's how they got the name avocado.
Really?
I saw it on a documentary
Weird.
about food on Netflix, but then I Googled it and it is true.
Okay, in French, avocado is avocat and lawyer is avocat, and it means like advocate.
Oh.
But I don't know why avocat is the same for avocado.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those avocados are good advocates for being a superfood.
For avocado. Wait, whatever the testicle word is. Have you been in a testicle accident? Call lawyer avocado. I'm trying to call avocado and avocado locker.
Okay, you just said, have you been in a testicle accident? I feel like it's more like, have your testicles been in an accident?
No, have you been
Call avocado. Real talk.
Okay.
Fucking Bill Cosby, who obviously, just like R. Kelly, I've known as, like...
I thought you were going to say I've known for years.
Well, I'll plug a podcast, which I'm telling everyone about that I know.
Okay.
Chasing Cosby. There's only 3 episodes so far. I listened to the 3rd one this morning while I was eating, and it's all of these women who have come forward, but they're telling their stories on the podcast.
So it's like R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly, kind of.
But like listening to it, I've already cried like 4 times. But this is probably sounds weird, but the most sickening part to me is, like, I literally felt sick to my stomach remembering how often I used to watch The Cosby Show and just thinking, okay, he fooled all of America, all of us. And on top of that, what's this crazy thing that, like, we see someone on TV playing a role, which is what an actor does, but we take it for granted, and we assume
like that's
who
who that is. They're the sweet dad. Wouldn't he be the best fun dad?
Yeah. And because of that, when women came forward back in the 90s, because he's been doing this since the fucking 60s, and when the first woman came forward, her name was Andrea, people were like, nah, America's dad wouldn't do that. He just played a dad on TV. That doesn't mean he's a saint. It's just infuriating and sickening. That's all I have to say.
I have to listen to that because I know about what happened just based on articles and things that came out, but it'd be interesting to hear like the stories from the victims and a chronological kind of, like, same with like R. Kelly, and I'm sure there's stuff I don't know.
Well, what's really crazy, what I knew because I had heard, but I didn't know how. I do remember hearing that like no one really cared, quote unquote, until Hannibal Buress, the comedian, did a skit, and he was like, Bill Cosby's a rapist, and then his skit was like all over papers and everything, and then people were like, oh, maybe he is. Like, I don't understand.
It's nice it takes some random dude to say it versus like a ton of women.
Yeah.
That's nice, America.
Yeah. That was like the turning point of when Hannibal Buress did that skit.
Yeah.
But also like, fuck yeah, Hannibal Buress for being like, fuck Bill Cosby, he's a rapist.
True. And like actually saying
but
something.
It is sad that it took, but like there was a journalist who happened to be at a Hannibal Buress show when he did that skit, and then like literally because he was a journalist, he blew it up, and then everyone was like, oh yeah, maybe he is. Maybe we should revisit that. Yeah. Like, no shit, people.
Maybe we should take a second look. Maybe we should prosecute somebody who is a piece of crap.
But when you think about, that's my favorite thing about comedy. Comedy is so truth-filled. Everything they joke about. Because Bill Cosby in the 60s had skits where he even went on the Letterman show and was like, oh yeah, you know, you go out with a lady and you put a little something in her drink and then it's on, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He joked about it.
Yeah, but it's like people say every joke is a half-truth or else it wouldn't be funny.
Sorry, that's my rant. Listen to the podcast. It's really good.
What's it called? Chasing Cosby?
Chasing Cosby. Okay. And the front, the logo, is like a Cosby sweater, but the yarn is like unraveling.
Okay, I've definitely seen that in platforms.
It's good.
I just haven't actually listened to it.
What are you listening to?
I'm not listening to a series right now. I'm actually listening to the Dateline podcast episodes.
I haven't listened to that yet.
I didn't like the first one because essentially what it was the first one I listened to, I must have picked one that was just difficult to follow, and I must have half been paying attention. You have to actually listen to them because it's literally the show put into a podcast format, so it's a lot of different people talking. Okay. And so you kind of have to follow it and pay attention to be like, oh, wait, who's that? What is he talking about?
Oh, but you're not getting the visual. I see.
Yeah,
okay.
So you just have to pay attention a little more. So it's something new when you're drawing or, like, driving, something where you can literally just zone out and listen to it. It's not a great, like...
I find I'm like that with all podcasts. I can't listen at work I have to do music at work, I have to be driving or, like, walking the dog or something because I have to pay attention.
Yeah, I can't listen to podcasts at work either, really, because same thing, it'll just mess me up. But yeah, so the Dateline ones are pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. I do have to give a shout out to 3 new patrons.
Yes.
We have Ariana S. or Ariana, not sure. Let us know. We have Robin G. and Jessica D.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo! Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much for supporting us.
Your cards have already been sent out, and actually by the time this releases, you will have them with stickers. So if you want to join our Patreon, go to patreon.com/luminolpod. Yeah. There's episodes. I almost said vepisodes.
Those episodes?
Vepisodes and all those things.
Are they pepisodes? Because they're Patreon episodes?
Yeah.
That sounds dumb.
Upset stomach, diarrhea.
Theme or beer first?
Okay, let's do theme first just because I want to give a trigger warning. Our theme today is toxic relationships. It was chosen by our patrons.
Yes.
So we did a poll, and this is what the patrons chose, but obviously everyone gets to listen, so that's awesome.
I do want to say, because I wrote toxic relationships at the top of my page, and the more I was looking, I want to add domestic abuse, because I feel like saying toxic relationships
makes it sound double-sided.
Yeah, that is not... Yes, they're toxic relationships, but we're going to be talking about domestic violence and domestic abuse. I don't want to just narrow it down and say they're toxic, because they are abusive.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
They're a lot more than toxic, and at least in my story, and I'm sure yours too, like, it starts out as a relationship, and then it becomes a one-sided abuse. Mm-hmm. There is obviously a lot of domestic abuse this episode. There's a lot of assault in my episode, or my case I'm talking about. There's abuse against pregnant women. There's just a lot of hard things to listen to. So we'll only go into as much detail as we have to, but if that's something that's going to be a big trigger warning for you, this might not be the best episode to listen to.
Yeah, and I would say either case. I wouldn't, if mine I don't think is as bad as Sarah's, but it's a lot of domestic abuse and domestic violence.
Yeah. So our beer. I'm going to go first, and my case is in the United Kingdom. So we have Old Speckled Hen English Fine Ale from the United Kingdom. We're going back to our beers from places from the Case Place.
Yeah, now that seasonal is kind of over.
This ale takes its name not from a bird, but a car. What? The much-loved, paint-spattered MG factory runaround known as the Old Speckled Un. They wrote that phonetically, Old Speckled Un.
Didn't they?
Yep. Our master brewery uses crystal and pale malts and a blend of Challenger, Pilgrim, First Gold, and Goldings hops to deliver a beautifully malty ale, subtle notes of toffee and fruit. Okay, this is 5% alcohol by volume, so not a heavy beer.
I had to Google it.
Oh, cute!
So they're talking about, like, that, I guess.
It's
I just Googled Old Speckled Hen car.
Yeah, it's cool. Look it up. It looks kind of like an old Model T, kind of, but then with, like, a weird paint job.
Yeah, it's like a speckled paint job.
Cool.
Interesting.
Okay. That was easy. Well, it is a nice caramely color. Does it smell good?
Yeah. Ooh, that's actually good. It's really flavorful.
No offense.
It's got a flat ending, though.
No offense, the UK, though. Sometimes your beers tend to be a little boring based on our experiences with them. We have not had them all. We're really excited. Caitlin and I and a couple other people are taking a trip to the United Kingdom this summer in August, and maybe our minds will be changed. But no, it's kind of banana-y to me.
Doesn't have banana in it, right?
No. There's no banana. It just tastes banana-y.
Oh, toffee and fruit. That's a weird combination. It does have flavor, but it's very flat at the end.
Yeah.
If you guys have Marie and other people from the UK, if there's beer you could recommend from
that you think we'd be able to find
from your home country, let us know.
Or if you would like to send them to us, you can also send us a beer that we cannot find here.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so we found the only accent we're both good at, and it's whatever that is.
Someone told me the other day that I'm not allowed to do accents anymore on the podcast. And I said, fuck you.
Actually, there's one other accent we're both super good at, and it's America, so...
Yeah, tits up.
Alright, I'm gonna go first, because mine is the case. In the Kingdom of United.
Also, Tits Up is from Marvelous Miss Maisel.
And if you haven't seen that...
It's delightful.
What are you doing with your life?
She is so lovable. I love everything about her.
People say I remind them of her.
Really?
Well, you don't have to say... One person said it, and now I'm telling everyone.
I get told all the time.
By one person.
When I had bangs, I got called Taylor Swift all the time.
You look a little like Taylor Swift.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I'm telling you the story of Charlotte Rooks.
Okay.
in Cardiff, Wales, the capital of Wales. My sources are Wales Online, an article by Will Hayward, actually multiple articles by Will Hayward. He covered the case extensively. ITV, an article by Jay Akbar for The Sun, and an article by Evelyn Smith for Scubby, whatever that is.
Thank you, Scubby. We don't want no scubs. A scub is a guy that can't get no love from us.
We don't want no scrubs, but scubs, okay. Her childhood is from what I can tell. I'm trying to piece together multiple things.
Okay.
She doesn't have a biography out there. There's no wiki page on this. So this is all from what I can tell. So Charlotte Rooks, a young brunette Welsh girl, was put into foster care when she was a really young child. And she was lucky because she went into a foster family that loved her and cared for her. And so she became really, really close with her foster mom, especially. I couldn't find if there was a foster dad. I couldn't find how long she'd been there, anything like that. I just know that she was in a foster family and had a foster mom. As an adult, Charlotte worked a variety of jobs. And this is all, I'm not sure when she was born exactly, but this all takes place in the 2000s.
Okay.
So Charlotte worked a variety of jobs, and she eventually had a son who she ultimately raised as a single mother. And at his young age, while she was at work in 2011, she was in a relationship, but she met someone at work who she started having really deep conversations with, and his name was Craig Thomas. And Charlotte thought that Craig was absolutely amazing. He listened to her about like her relationship problems with this guy that she was dating, her personal issues at work, being kind of a single mom because she was just dating someone, and her financial issues. And so he was super caring, and he let her know that if she ever needed a place to stay, that he had a place for her, and all that. So he really stuck out to her. Charlotte and Craig lost contact because they were working different jobs now. But Craig got back in touch with Charlotte. He found a way to get a hold of her in 2013, so 2 years later. And 2013 was a really difficult year for her because she had been in kind of a sucky relationship that she had just gotten out of. Her house had caught on fire, and she lost everything except her son and her dog survived, and she survived, but literally they had to move. They couldn't move. Yeah, it was condemned. So things kept getting worse and worse for her, so it was kind of like Murphy's Law. And because of the fire, Charlotte and her son, who is now 13, moved into a new house, but they essentially had nothing. They didn't even have furniture in the house. It was just an empty
house.
Yeah. No beds, no couches, no anything. And they didn't really have money to do that because the types of jobs she was working was like a barmaid or things like that. So Craig was exceptionally supportive at first during this time. He was a painter and decorator, so I'm not sure what that means. I'm guessing outdoor of houses, outside of houses or something like that. So he would get these gigs, contracts. And he started canceling some of the gigs to hang out with Charlotte and to help Charlotte and to be emotionally supportive for Charlotte. And they ended up falling into a romantic relationship. So Craig started spending more and more time at Charlotte's house. But then he, pretty quickly on, within a couple weeks when they started dating, started to, poke fun at her. So he would, bully her about her lack of, furniture and stuff. He told her once that he wouldn't spend any time with her or see her because she should just be working nonstop so she could buy a new couch because it's, which is, true, you should get a couch, but, at the same time, if you can't afford a couch, you can't afford a couch.
Right. And you can't work 24 hours a day.
Yeah. So
and she's a kid.
Yeah, so he'd refuse, hang out with her because she should, prioritize furniture. Just, starting to, control aspects of her life that was kind of none of his business.
Okay, Dick, I'll pick a couch over you.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I would absolutely like a couch. One night, he took off work again, which she never asked him to do. He just kept doing it. So he took off work again to spend time with Charlotte, and the two of them got into a typical couple argument, and I say that because it wasn't a roaring fight. It was just a typical argument.
Yeah. You didn't put the toilet paper on the roll.
Yeah, oh, stop nagging me about it. Things like that. When the argument was happening, he punched her in the face, which came out of nowhere. He'd never been abusive with her before. And it was literally the first sign of a very horrifying abuse case. And Charlotte actually, she said that she remembered apologizing to him. Oh my, I'm so sorry. What did I say? Because she didn't think that was in character for him. So she was blown away that he did that.
That's the worst part. And I've never been physically abused. I've been in emotionally abusive relationships. But I remember feeling when he would say the worst things, and I'd be like, what did I do to make you mean enough to say that? I never was oh, you're a mean person. It was, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I made you so mad that you feel the need to say that. You blame yourself.
Well, and it makes you, I'm sure not in every case, but in my experience, it makes you think that you're a bad person and that you can turn people to their worst selves. It's very sad. So that's exactly what she thought. She said, wow, what did I say to you?
Yeah, how did I do this to you? You're not this person. It's clearly my fault.
Exactly.
When in reality, they're just that fucking person.
Yeah, that's within them. That's not on you. As far as I can tell, he didn't really she's what did I do? What did I do? And he didn't really say, so her assumption